Hea anō, tēnā tātou. Ahakoa e tāri ana etahi, we'll just admit them in as they are being ushered into our breakout rooms. Hea anō, me tīmata I kone ki te kore, ka tō pēr te rā, ia tātou e tatari ana. No reira, me tīmata, ia e whiti ana I tēnei rangi nei, no reira, tēnā tātou, ko tai mai nei I tēnei rangi. Koutou kāri te mōhio mai ki au, ko rangi nui riki rangi Thomas tōku ingo ana koe te kaitiaki mō tēnei tō tātou rūma I tēnei rangi nei. Nō ka katoa te maringa nui, tēnei te taimai ki te manaaki a koutou I a tātou me tā tātou kaupapa I tēnei rangi nei. Etahi tikanga mō a tātou nei, mō ngā whakaharenga I konei, whakanguhia a koutou tukuoro, ne, mutual mics. Me he nui ngā kaupapa I ōna wā, it gets a little bit awkward when there's domestics going on in the background because somebody didn't fold the tea towels properly, and then you get in and get, oh, hea anō, me mea ka pērā māku tō mea whakangu, hea anō, koe rā ngā āhuatanga o tēnei mea te hui topa. Engari, e hoa mā, kuranga tira. Nei a hau e mihi atu nei kia koutou o tira. Me kaua pēr au e whānako I te uira mo te roa, me kaua au e whakatōroa I te poto, ka huri kia kōrua, kei a kuranga tira, kei a kutua hine, kei ngā puti o tā tātou kaupapa, nei te pūngita, nei te priku e mihi atu nei ki ngā puti, tēnā kōrua o tira, tēnā tātou kia kōrua te rākau kōrero. Kia ora rā.
Ngā mihi nui kia koe e hoa. Kia ora for that beautiful introduction. Ko Kitoria Burdon tōku ingoa, ko Hiniraki te maunga, ko Ngā toki matawhaura te waka, ko Ohaki ki Paoringa te marae, ko te uri o tai tōku hapū, ko te rarua me tainui oku iwi, ko Kararaina Rudolph, rawa ko Eri Datheri oku tupuna, ko Ashley Burdon tōku tāne, ko Hoani rātou ko mātou ko Alia oku tamariki.
Tēnā tātou I te whānau. I te taha o tōku pāpā, he uri a hau no te taitokirau. Ko Pangaru te maunga, ko Hokianga te moana, ko Ngā toki matawharua te waka, ko Ngāti Manua te marae, ko te rarua te iwi. Ko Ateria Taihi Rawa ko Kararaina te wake o ku tupuna I te taha o tōku pāpā. I te taha o tōku mama he uri a hau no Murihiku, no kōtirani o ku tupuna. I tipua ke hau I raro e te koro ai aroha o tēnei rohi, te iwi o Ngaitahu ka te māmoe Waitaha. Ko Kane Johnson tōku tāne, no Awanui, no Karaponia tana whānau, ko ngā kaurawa ko Mahai, aku tamariki, ko Raiha Johnson, tōku ingoa, mōre nei te whānau.
We're super excited to share our mahi kia koutou, our reflections on how we have used He Pī Ka Rere in our kura auraki here in Murihiku. First and foremost, mahi kia koe Dario and the crew at Toi Tangata for creating the resource and for sharing it with us, basically. And we attended Dario's wānanga, and now we get the opportunity to share our mahi kia koutou.
So kia ora whānau, we just wanted to, if you want to, we were just wanting people, I see some beautiful people who have turned on their cameras. If you want to turn on your cameras, you can, and we kind of just want to have before we start, just a little bit of whakawhanaunga tiny, just to kind of, so we can have an idea of the different areas or sectors that you guys do your mahi in. So we're just going to kind of call out some things, and if you can, not a virtual hand, just show us your, give us your best pūkana. So is there anyone who are kaiako here? Anyone who are kaiako in kura? Ka pai, tukurua. Oh, we've still got some cameras coming on. Ka pai.
And health sector, probably quite a few. Health, right?
Ka pai. Is there anyone here that works with rangatahi, so maybe like youth workers or maybe alt ed?
Iwi organisations. Right.
We're not really sure what other sectors there are, but maybe businesses, I don't know. Anyone working private kind of organisation? Oh, ka pai.
Awesome. Anyone good at making fry bread?
Yes. Okay, welcome, sisters. Ka pai. I'm just going to do a wee regional one. Is there anyone from Te Waipounamu on here? Anywhere in the Te Waipounamu? Oh, we've got all our whanaunga from Te Maui. Ka pai. All right. Me haere tonu maua. So as Wiki may have mentioned, we are both kaiako in a kura auraki in Waihopai in Murihiku, so in Invercargill. And one of our roles as kaiako are to provide or really make sure that there are opportunities for our Māori tamariki to enhance their mana and to have uplifting experiences with their Māori identity and their whakapapa. So what we did in 2015, we created a program, a Māori enrichment program, we called Ngā Taonga. So Ngā Taonga being the tamariki themselves and Ngā Taonga being the mātauranga that they would receive through our program. And the main kaupapa for our Ngā Taonga was to connect and often reconnect tamariki and whānau with their language, with their whenua and with their whakapapa and mātauranga Māori.
Okay. So He Pī Ka Rere really aligned with our values and what we wanted our tamariki to get out of our program. So we blended it into what we already did, and then our hope was that our tamariki, their overall hauora, would be uplifted, which totally was. They loved it.
Ka pai. So we originally trialled He Pī Ka Rere with our Ngā Taonga rōpū. So if I didn't say, it's actually 99% of our Māori tamariki. So our kura is about 40% plus Māori, our kura particularly. So within our Ngā Taonga, we get about 90% of our Māori tamariki through our Ngā Taonga program.
So Toi Tangata put out these resources, these kāri along with whakapapa, and on the kāri it had fundamental motor skills basically, but all related back to an atua and including ancestress, lots of different lines. And from that we then created our own, which you may have received or you will receive. A copy of a few of the plans that we had created, and we just extended on the kāri basically to include a warm-up, the motor skill, and then a kēmu that they could play to reinforce the learning. Okay.
So when we trialled it, e tino hareko ana rātou ngā tamariki, e pāna ki te kaupapa o He Pī Ka Rere. They absolutely loved it. And through our kēmu, although it is kori tinana, for us, the biggest thing for them was that it reconnected them with whakapapa Māori, it reconnected them with pūrākau Māori, mātauranga, as well as the kori tinana.
Right. And we loved this program was really engaging, and whilst at the time it was a great way to validate their place in Te Ao Māori and give them that mātauranga, but it also added to our own kite. We were learning as we were going and continued to expand on what we had done, so we keep on building up our own knowledge too.
Yeah, so we kind of just responded to our tamariki, and they had such a positive experience with it, and they really wanted to take it back to their own classes, to their own kaiako, and teach their peers. So Wiki and I responded with taking Ngā Taonga to the classrooms for a term, where we set up a timetable, and I would take one session with one class, and Wiki would be at the same time taking other sessions with the other classrooms. And alongside that, we actually grabbed all our tuākana from our Ngā Taonga program and split them and took them alongside us. So our year sixes were working alongside as kaiako with us to teach their classes.
Super empowering for our year 6 or year 5 and 6 tamariki. They're the tuākana i roto i taku kura, and you know, it gave them, they had the mātauranga that other kids didn't, so it was uplifting for them, and then they got to be the ones to share the mahi, help us help the other tauira.
Ka pai. So we're just going to flick over and just show you a wee bit of the mahi that we've done with these. Ka pai. So
is that coming? It's not coming up.
That has not come up. Can someone go like that? Can you see our screen share with how the tamariki? Yeah, ka pai. All right. So here are just a couple of pictures of our when we took it kind of to the whole kura, with Wiki and I facilitating with our tuākana helping. See some really crisp Southland werere in those pictures.
So the you know, the kaiako and our other, because we know that what's good for Māori is good for anyone, yeah. So the tamariki right across our kura just love the activities, and we love that they don't even really know that they're learning all of these things. It's just a part of our culture and where we're rocking. So we've got a lot of tuākana taina within our akumanga, and this just gives another element to that. It was really great for our kaiako too, because they got to see us facilitating, and then that builds up on their kite. So really important for it to be sustainable, that we hand that over.
Also, as you can see in the pikitia, especially probably that one on the bottom left, we were able to run it because it was summer-ish. We were able to run it with big rōpū, so that's actually about 65 year 5 and 6 tamariki. So we were able to adapt the kimu just to, you know, regardless of how many tamariki we had, and having that field was awesome because we could spread right out.
So everyone responded really well to our program. So we had to then think, okay, how can we sustain this without it just being us two taking it all, because including that into our busy lives and our other mahi wasn't going to happen. So we decided, we come up with a plan to have to build up some of our tauira to become the kaitiaki of the program and implement it into across the school.
Yeah, probably important to note that our principal and kura and kaiako and whānau kind of actually always really support us with our kaupapa that we dream up to put in our school. So I mean that in itself it took away all the barriers that we could possibly have had. So yeah, the school and the kaiako see those untangible kind of immeasurable benefits that these kind of kaupapa have on our tamariki. So they really understand that Māori success and Māori achievement is more than just academic data. So I suppose we have a really good mara to start from where we can bring these kaupapa in and run with them. All right.
So with building that kaitiaki, there was a lot of mahi that went into preparing for a day where we took 40 tamariki away and had a massive training day basically to ensure that they were going to stay true to the values of the He Pī Ka Rere kaupapa. And you know, that's something that we're still fine-tuning, but in terms of spread, it's been awesome. So we will share a wee video that Toi Tangata put together for to share of what that looked like.
Come on, technology, you can do it.
We are super passionate about the He Pī Ka Rere program, activities, and how our tamariki can use it in our kura.
We teach in a kura auraki, so we've been trialling the program with our tamariki from ages 5 to 11. We are so excited about how much the children have loved it. They've really, really engaged with the mātauranga Māori as the kori tinana activity.
They're using it on a daily basis. They're just thriving as leaders in our kura. They get to not only lead with their peers, they are taking taina and teaching their kaiako.
We wanted it to be spread right amongst the schools. So, I developed the He Pī Ka Rere kaitiaki program, where we are here today training tamariki to be the kaitiaki of the program in our kura, so that they can go back and be the kaiako, the tuākana for their own kaiako and for their tamariki in their classrooms.
And we've noticed a great difference in their presence, how they portray themselves, and just their confidence in being up in front of their akumanga and the tamariki and showing them how to do the movements.
What we love about the He Pī Ka Rere program is that for lots of our tamariki, it gives them an opportunity to be leaders, and it's especially engaging for our Māori tamariki. Cool opportunity for all kids. So we have just on 40 tamariki here today. They're not all front of house leaders, so they
We've lost some of the sound, korua, for some reason. It's dropped out.
I got chosen to be a kaitiaki from my class and to run He Pī Ka Rere games and to learn knowledge. I learned how to take care of the little kids and explain it to make it make sense to little kids. My favourite He Pī Ka Rere game is the poi tour. I like throwing the poi and aiming for the different colours. Kia ora, my name's Tamariki and my favourite story is Pūrākau. And the story behind Pūrākau is that he was making a canoe but he needed wood. So he went out to chop a tree, but he didn't say karakia before chopping down the tree. Animals and plants remade the tree and regrow it. Hānau Mahuta didn't let him have the wood until he said a karakia before chopping down it. Kia ora, ko Anahira tuku ingoa, and my favourite part about He Pī Ka Rere is learning about the atua and the backstories and how they link back to Māori and being able to go back to school and teach the teachers, our friends and our whānau. Ko Crystal taku ingoa, so today I've enjoyed being able to learn Māori games and have the experience to be able to get back to school and teach friends, family and others at school and teachers and help them learn the different ways to play games. Kia ora, ko Mika Tukuri. My favourite activity was whiki. It was tino 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 pai.
Ka pai. So I'm not sure if everyone got to see that before the kaupapa today, but we just thought we'd show it again. Kind of didn't want to have us talking again on it, but it just has it shows all the excellent skills and the mahi that the tamariki got up to from their perspective, rather than us kind of saying about it. So yeah, we thought we'd just share that kaupapa anō.
So benefits for us, I mean, there are so many benefits that we can see in the āhua of our tauira here, just from being able to take the sessions and that leadership opportunity. But in terms of other areas of mahi that people work in, the whānau engagement has been really awesome for us too. So through these activities, the tamariki are going home and kōrero with their whānau, share the stories that we're sharing, and it brings it all together for us. I mean, that's just, we love seeing our tamariki engage in anything to do with te ao Māori. So for us, win-win.
Aye. So I kind of think I'll just give you a little bit of a context about Murihiku, because often everyone thinks there is not many Māori down here. So we are, as I said, our kura is about 40% Māori tamariki. They're really diverse Māori, so we are in Ngāi Tahu land, but at least 50% of our tamariki here are not Ngāi Tahu, so they're mātauranga. There's actually a lot of Ngāti Notas down here, so lots of Ngāpuhi down here. So yeah, so at least 50% of our role are mātauranga for kaitahu, so really important for our Māori tamariki, but we have massive uptake from our iwi Pākehā in Invercargill as well, so it kind of, the benefits are massive for our Māori tamariki, but they're actually really good and really well taken by te katoa, te iwi katoa.
Let's jump into a slide where we can show the feedback from our tamariki.
Okay. Ka pai. All right. Aroha mai whānau, we'll just change over. Okay, I prepared that earlier. Aroha mai koutou. Technological.
No, fine. We'll to our tamariki. So he pātai ki ngā kaitiaki. We asked our kaitiaki kia ho whakaaro i ana ki te kaupapa o He Pī Ka Rere, and some beautiful kōrero come back from our tamariki. Ko ngā kauti nei. So last year he was a kaitiaki, and but not a, the front of house leader. He had that year to learn and to awhi alongside, and then this year now he's way more confident to become one of our kaitiaki that leads.
So this is beautiful kōrero Ruby. For her, and it's important to note, because we know their backgrounds, is that this beautiful kōrero was actually really, really shy and would often sit wahānau, join in, but just wahānau. So for her, now that she's a little bit older, she loves that it is a Māori kaupapa, and it makes her, and these are her kupu, that she was really proud as Māori and to be a kaitiaki to teach the other tamariki. And one really special thing that Ruby was able to share with us was that the best thing for her about being a kaitiaki for He Pī Ka Rere was that she gets to teach the taina, the tamariki, and for her knowing that she's having some input into their development, and that one day they will be kaitiaki for the program as well.
Ko Raiha tēnei. So Raiha was the same. She felt she was grateful for the opportunity to be able to work with our taina because she felt more comfortable than with her own peer age group. And now from that experience, it's given her, it's empowered her to be able to take it back into her akomanga. So, that's the power of giving these kids an opportunity to be leaders. They then take that into other parts of their whole hauora.
And this was witiaki, as you would have seen on the video as well. And I think this kind of connects with our keynote speakers today. Hopefully will be some pilot programs in Invercargill, is that he's off to high school next year, and he really, really hopes that there's something like this when he gets to high school. And that he felt like he would like to teach other tamariki of the same age. And the funny thing was that he said, if our teachers at high school do it, I'll probably just end up helping them because, I know I'm a confident kaitiaki now, which is lovely, because when you know this child, again, he was really, really shy and quite unsure of his ahure Māori, like not sure of his whakapapa and growing his own Māori identity. So that's had a real massive impact on him. And actually, when he spoke in the video about rata and the tōtara tree, his whānau actually bawled their eyes out because they could see the difference in that child. So yeah, sometimes it's important to know actually not just where they've got to, but how far they've come as tamariki.
Should we say the in action?
Oh, aroha mai, I should have put that. Okay, do you want to talk?
So in terms of whānau engagement, so this is awesome for any sector where you're trying to engage whānau. We found that this was a great way because we're sharing our pūrākau, and then the tamariki are playing a kēmu to consolidate that learning, and then that's what they go home and share with their whānau because it's fun. So one example was we had a whānau hui earlier in the year, and she'd kai, and then when the whānau came, we had a whole lot of our He Pī Ka Rere activities set up. The kids were used to playing them, so they then got, grabbed their whānau, got them up, and oh man, so awesome seeing whānau engaging with their tamariki, and just the excitement on our tamariki's faces when they're trying to pull up their whānau to come and join them in a game.
Yeah, it was lovely. We could, because there were so many little ones, we actually split and put the kind of the dads and the bigger kids in one rōpū to go hardcore on some activities, and we were able to pull and have like a smaller activity for our pipi. But what was choice was that it was those pipi that were the taina that were leading the activity. So they were teaching their taina, they had teaching their parents, they were dragging them along and telling them about, you know, the activity that they were engaged in. So it was lovely to see whānau engaging and learning, because they'd heard so much about, you know, this kimu that we were playing and the new learning that we had been doing at Ngā Taonga.
And we have our own Facebook page for our Ngā Taonga tamariki. So we're adding our videos and pikitia from our sessions, and then getting whānau feedback is awesome.
Mm. Just have some reading time there. Yeah, so for us, this Facebook is a really engaging tool for our whānau. It's what works for us. So we've just kind of run with that. And we have fast, quick engagement here.
So in terms of how we have adapted the He Pī Ka Rere resource within our kura, I showed you one of the lesson plans and how we've done it, but we've also, you know, moved on and included our local mātauranga. So we've got the titi is one of our main ones that the kids love playing, because, you know, down here we've got our titi motu and whānau that whakapapa there, even within our kura. So we've created a kimu that uses those skills to reinforce that learning and share. So there's so many ways that you could do that. We've included that in the resource pack. Also one about the tio and Roimata's tears. Again, another local pūrākau that we've used that kōrero, and then we've got our kimu to consolidate that learning, and it just sticks in our tamariki's heads.
Yeah, as Wiki said, we've got a whole heap of pūrākau and mātauranga from down here in the south. So it's endless. He Pī Ka Rere has given us a real solid foundation to understand the program, and now we've been able to, you know, weave through our local knowledge. I'm just going to pull up a slide because I realise we've only got a few minutes left. Right, so Wiki, sorry.
Right.
Okay, I'll flip through this. Okay. So here is our kimu outside. We've got some lovely wee videos of our tamaiti. Where? Just the wee ones.
That was our TT, well, part of our TT activity, where they arrive on their motu, they've got to go over the rocks, then they've got to go through the ngahere, and then they go reach into their burrows to get their titi or tennis balls. So that's, you know, that's sort of a part of how we recreate the story. And then there's the second part of the season where the titi are fledglings and they start flying, moving out of the burrows. So we add that into our next vid.
Oh.
And use these kickboards as the birds are flying, and they've got to catch them this time.
I'm just going to play that one again because it's really good to show the activity, but it's also beautiful to see the connection and the manaaki that the kids show with each other.
One minute.
Aye. Wow, we've talked a lot.
Clearly we talk too much.
Aye.
Yeah, pātai. Or like a 1 minute.
If you have pātai, you can just, if you have questions, we're okay for you to turn on your microphone and just kōrero atu kia maua.
Rā tētahi pātai, ki roto i tā tātou chat. Ko kuhu te kaupapa nei ki roto i te mahere a kura mō ngā akomanga katoa. He pēhea ngā kaiako o tō kura te noho i ngā mātauranga Māori ki roto i a rātou horopaki ako. He pēhea te āhua o ngā akoranga kori tinana, hauora hoki ki tō kura i mua i a He Pī Ka Rere. Ko pakiri ake ngā pūkenga whakaako hauora a ngā kaiako i nāi nei. E nui ngā pātai reira. And all that's in the things you need to break them up.
We kind of missed in our presentation the how it is run across our kura. So the way the kaitiaki are trained, they are spread across all the tuākana classes and they match with the taina class. And so that is run kind of, they timetable it into their day.
Like a fitness program, eh?
Aye. So it's run every day. The tuākana, the taina classes meet up. Our kaitiaki have all their activities set up. Well, two rōpū kaitiaki, and then they kind of split the two classes so that there's tuākana taina within each class, but then there are kaitiaki running that. So that's an everyday a way that they've implemented it into the school every day.
And we saw that need because there was less, we weren't seeing the PMP, the Fundamental Motor Skills program, happening as much with our taina as it used to. And so we were like, boom, yes, we need this. And so it was, you know, it was really good and great for all ages. It's just, especially the ones, maybe it's because they had missed out on it, I don't know, but
and the way we supported our kaiako with this is Wiki and I have run sessions, I suppose, professional learning sessions, you might call it, with the kaiako to help them to understand. Our kura has been on a journey with Te Ao Māori for years, 10 plus, whatever, a lot of years. So they, although they are not, he maha ngā kaiako ko ngā Pākehā, engari, we've probably got a 4 or 5 Māori kaiako. So there's a lot of awhi within the school, but our Pākehā kaiako, we support them through teaching them, and in the mahi that we give them, the lessons, it's broken. We break down the reo to ensure that they can say it correctly. We ensure that the key pieces of information, the key mātauranga is in there, and they have their kaitiaki, who are, although it's not limited to tauira Māori, 80% of those kaitiaki are Māori. So they kind of, they support their teachers as well.
Yeah, a huge part for us was making sure that there weren't barriers to picking up the program and running with it. So, you know, whatever we create, we try to make it as easy as possible for anyone to pick up and run with.
Oh gosh, any other pātai? Did we answer your pātai? Miri?
Just te hionga mai pai nei au. It was cool to see the it was cool to see the inclusion of localized kōrero into which is what you touched on later on in our kōrero. It's a good foundation that allows you to incorporate your own kōrero pūrākau, even mita, to this kaupapa. So those of you who are thinking of engaging with He Pī Ka Rere, there are lesson plans within that as a tauira, as an example for you guys, and you just add it as you please. You can add your own pūrākau, and we're very lucky to see these tauira and how we've moulded a lot of these activities to thread tikanga, pūrākau, te reo Māori through all of the activities. Nā te mea, we talk about flexibility, we talk about hand-eye coordination. Ko roa tātou te Māori e pēnāna. That was when how flexible you were and how quick you were meant your livelihood. Once upon a time, ia tātou e nei a Māori, we had these practices tikanga, we had our own activities to help build on these skills and develop these fundamental skills to help with survival, warfare, mera mea katoa, hei oranga mo te iwi. And I suppose this is a he rauemi ki te whakaora anō I era mātauranga. And an awesome tauira looking at what you guys have been able to provide for us today. E hoa mā. Nō reira, tēnā kōrua, nei mātou e mihi atu nei kia kōrua, mō kōrua I whakae mai kia tuari I te nui o wō mātauranga me ngā kaha I whakapaua e kōrua I roto I ngā marama ko tahake nei, I ngā tau ko tahake nei. And those of you who are interested in looking at He Pī Ka Rere, he kaupapa tēnei, nā toi tangata, nā tātou katoa, and will be, mehema ki te pirangi ki te wānanga, again, whakapā mai kia mātai, and then we'll send you all to Raiha, actually te katoa o a tātou nei kai mahi, puta no I te motu, those who are actually practicing He Pī Ka Rere, as we do have facilitators across the motu running He Pī Ka Rere. And we're very lucky, once again, very fortunate to have you to look after us today and present your kōrero and the mahi that you guys have done for our kaupapa. Nō reira, kei aku tuahine, tēnā kōrua I te rangatira o a kōrua mahi. Ko hoki tātou ki tā tātou mea matua, ki te marae Aotea. If you've got any feedback, whakapā mai, put it into our chats and any evaluation, any pātai, I'll be sure to send through to Raiha and Wiki and keep it within our team. Ka pai?
Ka pai.
Kia ora rā, tēnā koutou, tēnā
Ki te
tātou.
koutou.
Ara.